tier pieces, the tier 1, 2s, and 3s. If we want to go through and just kind of look in the model viewer itself, we're going to start with the Night Elf, because that's, to me, the Night Elf seems the most relatable one as far as size and everything else goes. So that's not bad. I think Venthyr is supposed to be like your more vampire-like transmog. And what might be easier to do is this, without the green hair everywhere, we'll do the troll instead. Alright, there we go. But that's not bad. That looks pretty good. There's a little bit of a difference you can tell with the, I'm assuming you want to call that stained glass, that's in the top piece versus the pieces that are hanging down. It may be that they haven't gotten to the detail, the level of pixelation to match the rest, but the lower pieces do seem a little bit lower in resolution. But I mean, all in all, the architecture looks neat. It might be neat to see them move, like whenever you're walking, to see a little bit of movement there. But I mean, all in all, for a tier 1, that's a nice back piece. That's not bad. It does clip into the arm, so this is another one where I think it might have to be pulled away from the body a little bit more, because I'm assuming with the shoulders there's just going to be a lot of clipping. Or maybe what they could do is have the hooks come out. So if he's facing the X direction and the top of his head is Y, or Z direction, and then his left and right is Y, the hooks would come out in the negative X direction. And that would probably forego a lot of clipping there. It'd give it a little bit more of a 3D element to it as well. But yeah, right now it just looks like just with his arms, there's going to be a lot of interference there. Okay, so that's not bad. Let's see if we take a look at this one. This by itself looks really nice. This one looks a little bit more complete than the tier 1, but the movement, the floating movement, I like that. There doesn't seem to be a lot of what do we call it? A lot holding it together. It's just, that's the way it looks. I like it. It looks good. They did a really good job with the animations, the glowing effects over here on the daggers. Dagger design, colorization. Everything's nice and neat here. For having 6 daggers, it looks clean, to be honest. I think what helps is that, you know, in looking at the back, it does tend to float away from the back just a little bit. So that's not bad. It is the context of the story. I saw yesterday all 3 tiers seem to fix really well. Yeah, that's nice. I'm not as familiar with the story canon one, but the appearance wise, I do like this, the fact that rather than just being a wall of daggers, it does have a little bit of a step to it. So it kind of pulls back a little bit. I think that also helps with the clipping, or what would be clipping of the arms. I like it. That looks good. Let's see. We'll go to the next one here. As far as your tier 3, that's going to be interesting. Let's see. that's not bad. Maybe there's a little bit more lore to it, like you were saying. It does seem like you're carrying your own tombstone, though. Which maybe that's the whole idea. You're more or less bound to it. I kind of like the approach we're taking with this. Like, we don't know the story a little bit, and does the piece in some sort tell a story. You can't get much more edgy than carrying around a tombstone on your back with a candle's lid on it. Not even lit. Well, I guess they kind of are. Two of them are. Yeah, you're right, Crom. Let's see, that's kind of a story. I don't want to give away spoilers. Okay. Alright, we'll let that ride then. That's not bad. As far as aesthetics go, maybe a little bit of a swing to the chain. It might be that the chain will move as you move, and you just can't see it here based on the modeler. So, okay. I do like the tier 2 best though. I mean, it's not bad, but I do like the tier 2 best. Get some work done. Have a great afternoon, everyone. All right, Kiter, you have a good rest of the day as well. I appreciate the support, by the way. All right, so let's see. So this is where we get into a little bit of fun. We actually get to see these things on the different plate sets. So if we pull in this guy, man, that looks like a tank. For plate, for this one, it doesn't look like your Zanlari get boots. Or at least the shoe portion of their boots. The Fan of Daggers looks best. Yeah, I think so as well. I do like the... Well, let's start from the bottom. Let's do it that way. Let's take a look at this. I mean, not bad. It does have that vampire-esque feel to it. There's really not too much to say about it, because a lot of times where you get into your color and stuff like that, I don't want to get over the top because it just gets unrelatable at that point in time. But one thing I'm finding a little interesting that I'd like to see if the rest of the armor does is you have floating kneecaps, essentially, or upper leg armor that floats. So that'll be interesting to see if that carries through. And it looks like it does. It looks like it floats on the forearms as well. I do like the gloves. The gloves have a little bit of a spike to them. I'm kind of a bigger fan of the 3D effects. So, something like this, it seems a little block-ish, but I think it works. You have the spikes that are the same color as the spikes and stuff on the back, believe it or not. Wow, the color might work on the back, to be honest. Let's see. Just to kind of let you know, the first raid is the Vampire Zone. Okay. Let's see. You have the purple gemstone there. The belt is not 3D. It would have been neat to see the belt in 3D. Just because I think it would have meshed well with the plate armor. I can see if they didn't do that for cloth, but for plate it would be kind of nice to see a 3D belt. But the belt buckle, I mean, it looks nice. Let's see. One of the things we saw in the first covenant that we went through, I think is Kyrian, the plate wrapped around really far in the back, so I wouldn't be surprised if they touched up that. One thing I'm noticing here is that the bolts have a 3D effect. That's nice. Your bolts, your rivets, whatever you want to call them. That's really nice. I like that. Like little details like that, I think go a really long way. Let's see. If we want to go through and take a look at the chest here. I mean, not bad. Not bad. I do think there's a value in putting in some 3D elements like your armor here. If that was on a 3D effect, I'm probably reaching for the stars a little bit, but if given the time and an opportunity, it would have been neat to see that in a 3D effect. But I mean, color-wise and design-wise, looks good. Those shoulders, though. Alright, so let's talk about the shoulders. you have your gemstones. They match the belt. They match the forearms. Something I really like about these shoulders is that they're not floating in the abyss somewhere above character's shoulders right now. It looks like they put some sort of under some cushioning that kind of comes out from the bottom here. That looks good. The red in combination with the brown, that looks good. The statue, I think that's well done. I do. I like it. The shoulders here just really nicely done. As small as they are, there's a lot of detail in them. You can kind of see that they didn't make his little face as flat as they could. They did go through it and put in some grave. Of course, the glowing effect looks really nice. That's really well done. I like it. Let's see, as far as the helm goes, the helm, you know, again, the gem matches, the eyes have their glow. The glow kind of matches the gargoyles on the side. Has a little bit of an open face here. That's nice. There's a lot of design into this, to be honest. There's the flowing of the actual helm itself, and then that's in between these flares, if you want to call them that. Let's see if we look at the back. I mean, that's nice. That's really nice. Now again, oh man, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse when it comes to the coloring. I do think this should be gold, maybe with the flat red in the back as well to match. I don't really feel like getting into the whole color thing again. It looks separated. What does bring it together a little bit are the gargoyles on the sides. I think that kind of puts in a relating factor here. But yeah, I got my switching on my druid on Throne of Thunder Heroic. Congrats on that, Jamer. All in all, that looks good though. That's not half bad. Crom says, tough choice in my DK between Necrolords and Venthyr. I think it's with a Y, but I hope I'm just saying it as well. Meanie? Welcome, how are you doing? Alright, so that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I mean, the set itself looks good. If given the option, I would probably transmog my cloak off, which is unfortunate, but it just doesn't match. It doesn't look like it's from the same set. For whatever that's worth, that's kind of where I sit with that. Venthyr. Okay. All right. Thank you, Catawin. This is nice. So same thing. It's just the cloak on the back is floating a little bit. It does have a it does dodge a lot of the clipping. I think the second blade and the shoulders clip, that's ignorable. There's not a big deal with that. The gold handles work really well to the red accent. This matches. Like, this is nice. The shoulders are absolutely massive, so it hides part of it, but that's nice. It's, yeah, like I said, it might be a little unfortunate that it's being hidden, but you can kind of see them back there. As far as matching goes, cloak to armor, this is probably the best one I've seen so far. That looks really good. The cloak isn't on his back. You know, glitched into his back, I guess. That's nice. I have nothing but good things to say about it. One thing I would like to do is to see how it looks on a night elf, just so I can see what the boots look like, which we probably should have done this earlier, but here we are. Okay, that looks nice. And it matches. Like the gloves here, you have your 3 spikes on the gloves, you have your 3 spikes on the boots. Little big as far as like the the block of metal at the front of the toes, but it looks good. I think, you know, in a normal gaming environment, I think that looks good. I'm sure they'll get rid of the clipping of the hair and stuff like that. I'm not worried about that, but I say I'm good. Thanks, and you, we're doing well. So, meaning we kind of go through on a normal basis right now, and we pick like one topic at the end of toward the end of the stream, where we just want to take a look at Shadowlands, kind of deep dive into it, take a nice hard look at it, and see, you know, if we can provide any sort of constructive comments, whether it's just as simple as that looks good, or you know, critiquing the coloring and stuff like that. Just go through and kind of build a little bit of excitement toward Shadowlands and what's coming in the future. And like I said, this is actually really nice. Those toe guards are like clown shoes, a little bit, yeah. They seem a little big. They do. I don't know if there's if it's supposed to have some sort of like raptor appearance to it, if there's some reason for that, but at least for the night elf, it seems a little big. We'll see, you know, we'll see if there's more to it, keeping in mind that this is alpha, so they can go through and add to it. But yeah, you're right, it does look a little bit big. Let's see, maybe well, again, when the Shadowlands releases, although it's unlikely, yeah, maybe. If that's the case, that's the case. But so far, this has been really nice to see. That's not been bad. Let's see. All right, so let's look like let's see what it looks like with a tombstone on the back. I'm gonna have to switch models again because that hair. Let's see. Let's go with Xandalari Troll here. But we're kind of getting a chance to go in and deep dive into this to some extent, and that's nice. Like I said, I think it's those shoulders that allow the back piece to kind of mesh with color. So you have your floating tombstone there. I mean, it's not bad. That actually looks really nice. I like it. I think I'd still have my main go the route of the Necrolords, but as far as like the aesthetics, I like it. Let's see, how does it look? Sometimes your feet can get a little bit off with your goblins. So let's take a look at that. It doesn't show off as bad. That's not bad. Seems like things are floating really well. That's nice. Let's see, what about the Tauren? Look at those shoulders. I like it. Sometimes it's nice to have an Bosun Call once his boots back. Yeah, I think this is one of the rare cases where this might look a little bit better without the boots, to be honest. But no, as far as the shoulders go, the rest of the armor that's sitting on the back, that looks good. That looks really good. It'd be interesting to see if the shoulders clip with the horns for the High Mountain Tauren. That's why I was initially earlier going to take a look at that. So far, a tiny bit, but I think that's negligible. In a normal gaming environment and whatnot, I don't think you're going to pay too much attention to that. That looks good. Almost more intimidating to a certain degree if you consider the character here. I think Shady normally likes to see the Worgen, so we'll take a look at them real quick. They move a good bit though. That's not bad. The shoulders, and it looks like the kneecaps, I guess, the knee guards, they still have to be kind of fitted right, but you know, they're there. That's not bad. That's kind of nice. Monster Scoot, thanks for showing me the the Goblin model. Sure, Miles. Like I said, if you guys have requests for certain models, I don't mind taking a look at them by all means. How's those pause button? Oh yeah. Normally I'll hit that for the thank you. Normally I'll hit that for the Worgen and the Volpera. I just forgot to, but yeah, thank you, Crom. Let's see. All right, so it looks like leather is next. I thought I had seen that they had added mail, but that's all right. We'll stick with it. So let's see. Let's take a look at leather. That's interesting. And again, this could be because it's not done. But man, that looks sharp. I guess no pun intended, but the boots, you know, kind of cover the feet. I think at this point they might as well just have boots. It makes more sense than having arbitrary piece cover the toes like that. Just put boots and be done with it. As far as the armor goes, that's clean. That's a nice look to it. It's, you know, you have your leather armor in the background, but there's nothing saying that you can't have a little bit of plate on your leather or a little bit of armor on your leather. Let's see. Great, just going boots. Yeah, you know, at this point they're halfway there, right? So, but no, like the overall design looks really nice. Looks really clean too. That's nice. Yeah, full-blown bat wings up there. Your helm as well. Yeah, that looks really good. That's really, really well done. I'm going to switch to a class that has full-blown boots and just see what it looks like. Yeah, see, so essentially the same thing. Just, you know, recolor the feet. At this point in time, just, you know, be done with it. Yeah, there's no, especially for plate. It's kind of weird to go through and have it have some sort of foot covering for leather and then not for plate. But again, you know, going through and looking at the facial features and everything, that's nice. That's really nice. I do not know what they're going to do for that back piece though. That is clipping to the nth degree. So I have no idea. Again, this would be another one where I would have, if I'm transmogging it, I'd remove the cloak for two reasons. One, the color just doesn't match. And it just looks like a separate piece altogether. And then two, that's a lot of clipping. Even in a gaming environment, I'd rather have nothing there. They know every leatherware will use the Phantom knives. You might be right. Let's look at that. Well, before we do, let's just see what this looks like on a Tauren. We're going to do one large race and then one small race. Yeah, same deal. Just give them boots and be done with it. Let's see. The horn clipping, I don't think is a big deal. It bothers some more than others, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, when you're playing the character, I doubt it'll show up much. For the Tauren, though, I think if they just pulled the back piece out a little bit, like I said, they could probably save themselves a lot of room if they took those hooks and they bent them outward toward the back and just let the these whatever pieces that are hanging there, these features hang farther behind, if that makes any sense. I think this is having it go in the Y direction rather than the X direction is probably causing more detriment than good. But let's see. We'll go there. And we'll make our way this way. Let's do leather. That's tier 2. And we'll pull in a smaller race to look at as well. Let's see. I'm guessing this is leather. Oh yeah, can win. This is leather. Had to step. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you, by the way. We'll pull that there. Yeah, we'll come over to that one here in a second. Let's go ahead. We've already seen the Tauren. Let's look at the Goblin for the moment. That's not bad. I think you're right. I think most people are going to go with that tier 2, similar to what Chrome was saying a second ago. Let's pause that. Once he's still, there we go. All right, so that's not bad. We're kind of looking at the belt position, making sure it's not too low. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I have a tiny bit of clipping in the back, but all in all, that's not too terrible. Let's see if we look at let's see, Nightborn. Nightborn might be the best blend between a Xandalari Troll and Night Elf. Oof. I don't know what they're going to do about that one. Unless they can move the shoulders forward a tad bit. Because it seems like the shoulders are hovering near the chest here. And then if really extending from the back. So they could probably move the shoulders just forward in the, we'll call it the X direction. And that might separate it from some of the blades. That's a lot of clipping though. Like you're missing a lot of core features with this. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do with it though. Nightborn usually have very floaty shoulders. Yeah, someone was saying that the other day as well. These seem to stick a little bit better. But they might have to, what they may have to do is just pull it farther from the back. But even still, that's kind of far from the back as it is. Maybe they could wrap the shoulders around tighter. I don't know. That one's, I just know that that's a lot of clipping for design intent. But again, the entire set in and of itself looks pretty good. Let's see. Now, if it's tied to just the Nightborn, they might not care too much. Let's see. What about Night Elf? All right, you know what? Take that back. Let's take a look. We haven't looked at the human in a while. Let's see. Tad bit, but not as bad. That does look good though. That does look nice. I'm just glad it isn't isn't the the male set. We'll look at male in here just a second because that's gonna be interesting to say at least. Especially as hard as we wrote them last time for the Night Fae. Let's see. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and look at rank 3 for leather. I think your colorizations for the covenants are all going to be the same, right? All right, so let's see. There's that on the back. Yeah, I would be surprised if I saw a lot of people running around with a unless there's some that's like, really into the lore of things. I just can't see a lot of people running around with a gravestone on the back. I might be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time, but I don't know. Those shoulders look good by themselves. They clash a little bit with the cloak in the back. But man, those shoulders look nice. They did a good job with that. Yeah, I have nothing but praise for it, to be honest. As far as the set itself, that's nice. Alright, so let's see. Let's move to mail real quick, just to kind of see where we are. Is it in the modeler yet? No, it doesn't look like there's a 3D model of it. Well, I mean, modeler. Let's see. It does look like there's various tints, though. So that'd be interesting. Alright, so let's see. This is mail. What we may end up doing... Yeah, let's come back and visit that later. It doesn't look bad, but it would be really nice to have like a 3D model of it. And we can always like revisit and see if there's any sort of changes that happen. The different color schemes that I'm seeing so far, I mean, they do look nice. The shoulders don't look too bad. What I like with the shoulders, yeah, we'll click on this, is that they have the candles, the chains to kind of match that stone on the back. So that'll be interesting to go through and see later on. Certain color variations are going to work better with certain armor types. So that'll be interesting to see later on when we know more. And revisit that whole color conversation that we've had. Gargoyle face, yeah, I saw that as well. If I can pull in the 3D model thing later, we'll go through and we'll take a look at that. Alright, so this one, oh, by the way, this one is cloth, so let's see if we can zone in here. Cloth boots, the pants, I mean, sometimes I think there's a charm in simplicity. So for them to be just straight bluish red, I think that's fine. You know, it looks good. It matches. It has an overall kind of theme to it, so that doesn't bother me too much. The armor, though, that is nice. There's a little bit of movement. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there's a little bit of movement within the armor and the flowing of color. That's really, really nice. Let's see, we're good there. And then you have more of that within the sides of the legs, armor on the side of the legs. Then you have the matching belt buckle. That's nice. You have a little bit of sometimes, you know, you've heard me talk about like the 3D effects and putting that on. Sometimes I think the lack of it can also help. And you know, if there's too many 3D effects going on, it can just actually take away from the body itself. So having this painted on, I think looks better. And then they did go through and put the 3D effect on the gem on the chest. That's nice. That's really, really nice. Let's see, as far as a helm, has a little bit of a crown to it, crown look to it, and then your wings, of course. Yeah, this is nice. The shoulders float a little bit, but the if they wanted to, they could allow it to crash inside the shoulder, just so it looks like it's actually sitting on the shoulder. But at any rate, no, that's really nice. And again, I won't kind of get into the color too much, other than to say two things. One, I'd pull the back piece away just a tad bit. I'd face the hooks in the negative X direction, you know, based on where he's facing. I would have made the metal match. So rather than your gold and your silver, gold and gold, and then your red here match your red there. For me personally, that's I probably would have gone that route. But I mean, the set itself, I couldn't even begin to make a recommendation. I think that looks really, really nice. That's well done. Let's see how it looks. Oops. Yeah, we'll see how it looks on a. Oops. Oh yeah, we'll do a gnome. Why not? That's not bad. All right, I'm gonna pause them just because the gnomes move a lot. As per normal, kind of hard to take serious, but it looks good. Oversized head. I think the Vulpera kind of suffers from that a little bit as well. Oversized head, but the shoulders, there's not a lot of crashing here. There's you have your forearms with the armor on it. You can see that well. There's not a lot of crashing between the hands and the plate on the side. That looks really nice. You know, your whole color scheme, the gold, I don't know what to call it except for like your dingy gold, dirty gold, I guess maybe, of your boots, your belt, your armor meshes really, really well. I think Gnome Face looks like it wants to fly away a little bit. That's nice though. I like that. Let's see if we do the Vulpera. That's not bad. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. There's a lot of movement within the Vulpera. Something I wanted to see though is that there's like a really thin veil over the gnome's face that I think that they just removed for the Vulpera. So they're aware of it. They're aware of the facial features, it looks like. All in all though, that looks really good. You understand these sets much more once you get into collecting the items. If you read the quest text, they fit the theme of the story. Oh, that'd be neat. And we might get into that a little bit, Kenowin, as we kind of go through and you know, once we've explored the transmogs, the sets, and stuff like that. Yeah, and that might be something we could get into a little bit, depending if there's a lot of interest in it. Let's see, we'll pull in that there. If we want to go the route of the Xanilari Troll. It's not bad. That looks pretty aggressive, to be perfectly honest. But that's not half bad. Let's see. I'm kind of curious to see how it looks with the tier 2 on it. Oh, you get a robe variation. That's actually kind of nice. All right. So if you're not a big fan of the pants, you have the robes, and I'll be honest, that looks good. You have your giant metal piece here in the center that kind of matches your armor types over here. I can see why they don't throw this on, what do we call it? Why they don't throw this on for the sake of animation purposes and whatever. But it looks good. That's not half bad. Let's see, we're good there. And we'll make our way this one. So this is kind of what I'm curious about a little bit here. Let's see. And Mushy's over there leveling. Congrats on that, Mushy. Let's see. We'll make our way this way. Alright, so as far as the troll and the daggers, there's a little bit of the floating in the back, and that works really well. Like I said, as you get higher up the daggers, or toward the daggers at the top versus the one at the bottom, it does kind of pull away from the body a little bit, and I think that works really well. With the shoulders, it does hide them a little bit, you know, as you can see where you're going through, and it's what's the best way to say it? It kind of takes from the transmog a little bit, But I mean, if you really want to see daggers, you just transmog the shoulders off, and there they are. But no, that looks good. We didn't get too much into the mail set today, just because that wasn't really available in the 3D viewer. We'll probably see that here pretty soon. But no, all in all, this looks nice. The little bit that we did see as far as the mail gear goes, it does look like it matches much better than the Night Phase set did. But yeah, as far as the the rest of this goes, that's well done. That's actually really nice. We'll put that there. But alright, so with the Covenants done, we probably won't visit the Covenants for a little while. We'll probably give it a week or two before we visit them again. Let WoW catch up, allow us to go through and kind of sift through more easily as far as the different armor color tints, the different tier bag pieces, cloaks for each of the Covenants, and then of course we'll go through and we'll be able to cover the mail tier as well for some of the stuff that we missed. Tomorrow I'll see if I can find the 3D model for the raid tier, or maybe your dungeon tier, and we'll kind of work from there. But the way it's looking right now, all in all, they being Blizzard are doing a really good job when it comes to these appearances.